Hello, Rama Pupodu. Hope all are in good health, feeling great, wonderful, having a happy and peaceful life. Now let's continue with devotee Sankramal. She remained in a state of perpetual joy, be it while attending to her work or sitting quietly in a corner in the kitchen. She was always in a state of peace. After my graduation in 1956, I stayed in Ramana Ashramam till I found a job. I was 20 years old at that time. 2 years went by and I still did not have a job. Bhagavan made me his apprentice. I was asked to attend on the devotees and sages and saints who came to the ashram. My school teacher, T.K. Sundaresa Iyer, took on himself the task of giving me this training. He not only introduced me to saints and sages, he also introduced me to the old devotees of Bhagavan. It was then that I noticed Sankramal, who was then in her 60s. She was always seated in a corner. She hardly uttered a word. In fact, she didn't even speak much with Bhagavan when he was still in the body. There was a reason for it. Bhagavan poured his grace on her by his mere glance, so there was no necessity for words. Physically unattractive, she was a thin, dark skinned lady with a doe demeanor. As she was not a very social person, nobody approached her. In spite of all of this, and perhaps because of Bhagavan's grace, I was always attracted towards her. Even if I went and sat next to her, she would remain silent. Finally, one day, I told her, "Tell me about Bhagavan." I persisted till she ultimately opened up. She said Bhagavan's silence was his direct teaching. He taught self enquiry to those who could not comprehend his silence. So, self enquiry actually takes a secondary place as far as his teaching is concerned. He imparted his teaching of silence by his mere glance, grace filled glance. This is the look that Muruganar and others refer to as his glance of grace. There was never a need to talk to Bhagavan. He made me mature gradually and steadily. All of Bhagavan's devotees extol Bhagavan's look of grace. However, even that look was an external expression of his inner silence. Silence was the state of Bhagavan, and his direct teaching was only true silence. Those who received his message of silence had no need whatsoever to talk to him, much less a need for his instructions. How can I possibly express in words the mysterious working of Bhagavan through silence? I was not prepared to leave her in peace. I was drawn towards her like an iron filling to a magnet. I noticed that she was always tranquil and quiet. She did a meticulous job in the kitchen and never stirred out of it. I was insistent in my questioning. I always asked her, "What state are you in?" "You are not in a state of samadhi because you are very active. You are open eyed, yet in a state of silence. What is that state? Will you please tell me?" Sankaramal was not only astute but stern. She was totally lost in her work. Let's continue in the next chapter. Thank you. Bye bye. Rama Pupodu.